Yeah, yeah, you got to go twice a year at least. I mean, yeah, it's a moral imperative actually. Oh, are we on? What? Yeah, move the teleprompter over. Yeah, a little bit closer. Yeah, just there you go, a little bit more. There you go, a little to the left. Okay, there you go. People who know a lot about calculus, and I'm not talking about math, and gentlemen.
Hey everybody, it's Old Fart, your old buddy. How you doing? You know, when I started this channel about a year after the Republican Party tried to pass off the dumbest on earth as being qualified to be next in line for the presidency of the United States, I really didn't think this country could possibly get any more stupid. I have hundreds of videos and thousands of smart, savvy viewers who will blow you away with their knowledge and debate skills.
It's not a lie if you believe it.
The world. And if you have any friends you think might enjoy my channel, please tell them about Old Fart Rants. What amazes me the most is how anybody can listen to Sarah Palin and think she's smart. And what scares me the most is that anybody who looks up to her has to be dumber than she is. But just how dumb is she?
You keep your mouth shut, punk.
Old Fart Rants made it abundantly clear in some of his videos. The reason he created his channel was because the Republicans dared nominate Sarah Palin, the biggest idiot on the planet, as vice president. He was just so appalled at that because Sarah Palin is so stupid and such an idiot, and that was beyond reproach. Well, as I've compiled, and see the link in the video description, I'll add more later and you can read what I've got there to see if something you have that I don't have there may fit. But my point being, there are several Democrats, and what we're going to pick on mainly, I'm not going to go over all these, I'll let you read the whole thing for yourself. And I'm going to pick on Nancy Pelosi, Hussein Obama, and Joe Biden. I've already got a few videos on Joe Biden's gaffes, like, you know, you can't go in a 7-Eleven without an Indian accent. Jobs is a 3-letter word. FDR got on TV when the Great Depression started to calm the people. Well, FDR wasn't president when the Great Depression started. TV wasn't invented yet. So Joe Biden's made a lot of gaffes. He had his 1988 presidential campaign suspended because he got caught for being a huge plagiarist. As far as Hussein Obama goes, you remember he said Austrians speak Austrian. They actually speak German. Imagine if Sarah Palin said that. Hussein Obama, you know, the whole 57 states gaffe. He can't pronounce the word corpsman. He pronounced it corpsman. At a speech, he bungled that about 3 or 4 times. He kept calling it corpsman. And it's a corpsman, like a Marine corpsman. So the idiot, well, you remember how they went crazy over Sarah Palin saying refudiate? So Obama's an idiot. Arne Duncan, the Secretary of Education, was at a Senate Help Committee meeting. And Al Franken used the word tautology, and he asked you know, well, you ought to know what that means, Mr. Duncan, and he thought he would, but Duncan admitted he didn't know what a tautology is. Remember, this is the Secretary of Education, Democrat Secretary of Education, former, he was running the Chicago schools at one time, which explains why McStupid is so dumb, because she was educated in Chicago, not while Arne Duncan was there, but Chicago's public school system is pretty bad. So yeah, Arne Duncan didn't know what a tautology is. Here's a good one. Ed Markey, who was then a representative, was looking to replace the French-looking clown John Kerry, became Secretary of State. So obviously he had to resign his Senate seat, and they were having a special election to fill that Senate seat. And Ed Markey was one of the guys, was the Democrat nominee. He was going up against Gabriel Gomez. And a debate on June 11th, 2013, Mr. Markey basically implied that math and arithmetic are not the same thing. He said, you know, I heard Mr. Gomez talk about math and the budget. Well, it's really not math. It's just arithmetic. It's very simple arithmetic. It's not as complicated as math. It's something you learn in grammar school.
So, yeah, that was a good one, Mr. Markey. You're a moron. Hussein Obama also tripped over the word superfluous about 25 times during a debate. He said he insinuated that his idiot parents were so inspired by the 1965 Selma, Alabama march that he was conceived, and the problem is he'd been born 4 years before that. Yeah. What else? I've got an entry. If any of you might remember Bill Clinton, Surgeon General Jocelyn Elders, that talked about having safer bullets and safer guns. How safe do you want to make the bullets, Miss Elders? The only thing I'd agree with her on is she wants to legalize drugs. Because I don't believe the government has any authority to tell free people what they can and can't put in their body. So if you want to destroy yourself with cocaine or take medical marijuana or just smoke pot because you like smoking pot, I'm not going to join you in that, but you have the right to do that. But how safe does Jocelyn Elders want to make the guns or the bullets? So if somebody breaks in my house, how safe do the 22 caliber hollow points I'm using have to be? Or maybe a shotgun. You want to make the shotgun say, I know a lot of people who have shotguns that would basically take a human head apart. How safe do you, I mean, if someone's breaking your house, how safe do you want the bullets to be? Yeah. Old Fart Rants, I'm going to go into some gun issues here real quick. Old Fart Rants didn't know what an assault weapon was. He flipped back and forth, and he said something about high-capacity magazines. I have a link for where I slapped him down on that, so he was using a term he didn't know. But he's in good company, because former Representative Carolyn McCarthy, one of Congress's biggest gun grabbers, she proposed, sponsored, and co-sponsored numerous pieces of legislation to undermine the Second Amendment, but her knowledge of the weapons she proposes to regulate is sorely lacking. McCarthy admitted in an interview after being pressed numerous times that she did not know what a barrel shroud was, and Old Fart Rants doesn't know what a barrel shroud is either. Despite her legislation banning them, the Clinton-era assault weapons ban only focused on cosmetic features, but McCarthy ended up admitting that she didn't know what a barrel shroud was, but yet the legislation that she sponsored was banning them. So what in the hell? That's ridiculous. You people that propose to regulate guns, you should actually know how to use them maybe. And as dumb as you are, I think don't go get a weapon because you'd probably hurt yourself. Shannon Watts is a moron. She's the mom's demand action idiot. She got upset because this guy got attacked in Walmart, and the guy that attacked him got arrested. Now the person doing the attacking attacked the other guy because he saw him putting his coat out in the parking lot, and he saw a holstered firearm in this coat, so he was concerned that this guy might be up to no good. The problem is he attacked a guy who was a legal concealed carry permit holder, and Walmart has no problem with people coming in there with guns as long as they have a legal concealed carry permit. So the man that attacked him because he saw a gun got arrested, and Shannon Watts was upset about that. But she's got armed security, so she's a friggin' idiot. John Conyers, they asked him about the Obamacare legislation and what part of the Constitution condones Congress passing a law requiring folks to purchase health insurance, essentially regulating their choice not to buy health insurance. And he said the Good and Welfare Clause, and a couple others. No, there's no such clause. So what a friggin' idiot. And then you got Hank Johnson, who thought Guam was going to capsize. Sheila Jackson Lee said the U.S. Constitution is 400 years old. I think she's brain dead. She must have been dropped on her head when she was a child. Let's do a few for Nancy Pelosi, and then we'll be done. I'll do a few for old Brownie, that senile hillbilly. Right before the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act was signed, and I have all the links to these, every month, Pelosi said every month that we do not have an economic recovery package, 500 million Americans lose their jobs. And my neighbor's mowing, by the way, if you're hearing noise out there. 500 million? She literally said 500 million Americans will lose their job. Even if she said 5 million, she'd still be out in deep left field. What if Sarah Palin said every month that this GOP jobs bill isn't passed, the deficit will increase 2 million and 500 million Americans will lose their jobs? They would go ballistic, and old Brownie would do 400 videos on it. You remember Pelosi said, I've got the full quote in context, but here's the relevant paragraph talking about Obamacare. But we have to pass the bill, Obamacare, so that you can find out what is in it away, from the fog of controversy. Furthermore, we believe health care reform again. I said at the beginning of my remarks that we sent the 3 pillars that the President's economic stabilization and job creation initiatives were education and innovation. Innovation begins in the classroom, clean energy and climate, addressing the climate issues, blah, blah, blah. Well, some people were trying to give her a pass on this, saying that they need to get it away from the public, because it was too controversial. Well, why not just post it online for a month so people can find? But it was what was it, 1,000 pages roughly? Ridiculous. What if Sarah Palin, so I don't give her a mulligan on that, what if Sarah Palin was vice president or senator or a congresswoman and proposed legislation and said, we got to pass it to find out, we have to pass a bill so you can find out what is in it away from the fog of controversy. She just didn't. She wanted to ram it through, so. Oh, and we got one. Let's go to a couple of old fart brand. Well, Nancy Pelosi, too. I can add this. She said no new deficit spending back in January 2007 when the Democrats took over Congress. Yeah, no new deficit spending, yes. Old fart rants insinuate that mass shootings, without defining exactly what a mass shooting is occurring on a regular basis. And he had no data for that. He just made that statement, and I've got the data, and I proved him wrong on that. He's an idiot. Old Fart Rand said he studied the Bible for 50 years, but he can't run a concordance. I've got the data for that. Yeah, he literally cannot run a concordance after studying the Bible for 50 years. That was a pretty good one. Old Fart Rants was very angry about a Facebook page I have that's debunking a lot of his nonsense, and he reads it often, and I'm going to start updating it again in the near future. And he saw a post I made over there, and he went over to the Other Dude Productions channel and made a snarky remark about it because he thought I'd messed up on something that concerned the number of Americans who make it into the top income quintile during their lives. And he misconstrued what it said, and of course didn't read in the data, and he thought I was saying there's like 50% of Americans in the top 10%. Well, I've got a link for that where he just, I don't know what he was thinking. He really missed the boat. And one more, I'm sorry for bouncing around, but I'm just reading through all these I've got compiled here. George Souness, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was Hussein's nominee to be the ambassador to Norway. He was also a bundler for Hussein's 2012 campaign. Imagine that. Questioned by Senator John McCain about the Anti-Immigration Progress Party in Norway, which has now joined the ruling coalition. Souness had no idea what McCain was talking about. McCain asked for his thoughts. Souness replied, you get some fringe elements that have a microphone and spew the hatred, and I will tell you Norway has been very quick to denounce them, end quote. That is untrue, however. They are part of the ruling coalition. They're not a fringe element, as McCain quickly pointed out to this vacuous moron. Nancy Pelosi also insinuated that natural gas is a renewable fuel. She didn't know natural gas was a fossil fuel. And imagine if Sarah Palin said that. Imagine if Sarah Palin said clean coal is a renewable fuel. They would go crazy. So, yeah, check that out. I just went over some of it. There's a lot more there. If you see any, I've got a few John Kerry gaffes in there too. You can go over those. Read those and get a good laugh at John Kerry, who's an idiot. If you see any that should be added, that qualify, I may add it. So drop me a line. That's it for now. But yeah, that's a rebuttal to the reason Old Fart Rants created his channel, because Sarah Palin's stupid. But the problem is, he's even dumber than Sarah Palin. Well, one more thing I can mention. He was wrong about the Pentagon program that sends military equipment from Iraq to police departments. He insinuated that was started by George W. Bush, and that was his fault. Actually, the original program started under George Herbert Walker Bush. I have a link for that as well, all that stuff. And it was amended under Bill Clinton to where, and his Republican Congress, to where then, so you could blame the Republicans, although most Democrats voted for it too. And yes, I have a link to the roll call votes, dummy. They added terrorism to it, so then it became possible to unused military vehicles used in the war on terror could be sent to local police departments. So no, what he did is Old Fart got that off a blog and he just ran with it, and it wasn't true. So he's dumber than Sarah Palin. In fact, if he had one less synapse going, he'd probably be in a coma. So you and Old Fart Rants, you and Nancy Pelosi and Hussein and John Conyers and Jocelyn Elders, you're all dumber than Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin looks like Albert Einstein standing next to you, morons. Have a nice day, and don't thank me now.
You know, I have no interest in debating philosophy.
It's not a lie if you believe it.